I remember I was in the shower, then out of nowhere, I looked to the left of me on the toilet, and I realized that my friend's sister is sitting right there watching me. And she says, oh, like, do you want me to join you real quick? Like, what? Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing, but I gotta say, crazy story. So this story all takes place back in my high school years, and I remember back when I was in high school, as you guys may know, I say this a lot on the channel, but I was a major player. So me being a player obviously led to me, you know, kind of doing any girl that I was able to kind of pull, which sounds really bad, but you gotta understand, I had no standards back then. That's why there's so many different stories. But going on with this specific story, I remember there was a time where I had a really good friend back when I was in high school, and he was like my closest homie. Like, no joke, me and him would end up doing a lot of dumb things together, which got us into a lot of trouble, don't get me wrong, but we would always go to parties together, go see movies together, and even go on double dates with chicks that we just met that day. Like, we would always go and do this, and I remember one day, after we were finished up at a party, he looks over at me and says, yo, Bubba, bro, do you want to just crash at my place? Like, it's totally chill if you want to. I mean, sure, I don't see why not. And as we were on the way to his place, I started to realize that I actually never went to this person's place. Like, even though me and him were really close homies and really like almost best friends, I would say, I never actually went to his house and decided to stay the night. So this was kind of like a first time, and obviously the first time you go to a person's house, you never know what you're going to expect. You're going to expect maybe a crazy smell that you don't like, or maybe sometimes you're going to expect a really dirty house because some people decide to live dirty instead of clean. I don't know. It really just was a shocker when he invited me over unexpectedly, but honestly, I ended up going in there with full confidence that everything was going to be okay. And when I went in there, I ended up seeing the most beautiful thing ever. And believe it or not, it was his sister, not his mom, not his dad, which would be gay if I said that, but literally his sister. When I looked at his sister, I remember she looks over at me and says, oh, did you guys like just get back from a party? Yeah, leave me alone, loser. And me and him, we ended up just walking away. When we got into his bedroom, I ended up saying, yo, bro, why are you so mean to your sister? Like, what did she do? Oh, nothing, man. She's just annoying. Why? What do you think? Now, obviously at this moment, I was not going to say that his sister was hot because, well, that was the first time I ever met his sister, and he knows how much of a player I was in high school. So obviously I ended up saying, oh, nothing. I was just curious. I never seen her before. You never mentioned her. Yeah, I don't like mentioning her because a lot of guys simp for her. It's actually kind of cringe. Yeah, no, I understand. I would never. But boy, did I regret ever saying those words, because what ends up happening next actually kind of blew my mind. I remember me and him, we ended up preparing his bedroom to basically go pass out and, you know, go to sleep. And out of nowhere, my friend's mom ends up walking in saying, oh, Bubba, if you want, you can sleep on the couch downstairs. Like, if you're not comfortable on the floor. I mean, if it's cool with you, yeah, I'll sleep on the couch. My friend ends up looking at me saying, all right, yeah, here's a pillow, here's a blanket. Go pass out, brother. And he ended up basically going on his bed and literally passing out right away. At this moment, I realized that he was a really quick sleeper, but for me, I was never really good at sleeping back when I was younger, and actually still to this day. Like, for me to actually sleep, I have to like watch YouTube videos or watch something to, you know, pass out. So I ended up grabbing out my phone and I ended up watching some videos online, and then out of nowhere, I ended up hearing footsteps coming from the kitchen. Now, when I heard that, obviously I was thinking like it's probably like his mom or dad trying to get like a glass of water, which I understood completely. But then out of nowhere, I ended up seeing his sister coming into the living room saying, oh, like you're sleeping on the couch? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to sleep on the floor upstairs. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, to be honest, like I have a double bed. Do you want to like just pass out in my room? Then where are you gonna sleep? Well, I mean, right beside you, duh. To be honest, I'm good. I'm just gonna pass out here. Okay, you're a loss. And she ended up going upstairs with a glass of water. And me at that moment, I started really thinking in my mind of how in the world did she just invite me up to her bedroom? Like, obviously, you guys know that if I went up there, the chances of me doing the devil's tango were really high. But obviously, I didn't do anything. I decided to, you know, be a good friend and respect the bro code and not do anything. But obviously, this would not last, because I remember the next day, me and my friend, we ended up basically, you know, waking up. And when we woke up in the morning, I'm not gonna lie to you, the smell of the party that we went to yesterday was still on us. And I remember my friend's mom saying, oh, Bubba, I was curious, are you gonna be staying here for dinner? I mean, I could, yeah, if you want. I remember at that moment, I looked at my friend to see like if it was cool with him as well, and he seemed like he didn't care. So I was like, sure, why not? But then afterwards, out of nowhere, his dad ends up saying, oh, but you guys smell like disgusting. What party did you guys go to last night? You guys need to take a shower. Oh, I mean, I could just head home and quickly take a shower. Oh, no, it's okay. You could just shower here. His mom ends up saying that, and out of nowhere, I started to think, wow, not only is this family really welcoming, but they let me shower in their place. Like, I don't know about you guys, but comment down below if you guys would be comfortable with, you know, showering at a friend's place or at another person's house. For me, I was never really a fan of showering at another person's house, but obviously at that moment they were telling me I stunk and they let me use their shower, and I was already saying that I was gonna stay for dinner, so I decided to basically just say sure, why not. I remember me and my friend, we went upstairs and we ended up going into his bedroom, and he ended up like, you know, talking to me saying like, oh, like my parents really like you, and basically complimenting me, which to be fair, all parents love me. Like, no joke, if there's any girls watching this video, I promise you I could probably make your parents like me, because I'm just a likable person, even though I'm the most sussest guy on on the internet, but going on with the story. He gave me the clothes that I needed to go take a shower, and he ended up passing me a towel. And as I started heading towards the bathroom, I ended up seeing that his sister's room was wide open, and her like room was right across the bathroom. And I remember she ends up looking at me as I enter inside the bathroom that was across from her room. Now, obviously, she was staring at me pretty weird, and I didn't know why, but honestly, I didn't think too much of it. But then came the crazy part, where I remember as I'm like getting ready to like take off all my clothes and everything, she ends up basically barging in out of nowhere. She barges in saying, hey, like, I have a question. Like, do you think this top is good? Yeah. Yo, listen, I'm about to take a shower. Can we maybe do this after? Oh, you taking a shower? Yeah. Okay, well, you're not in the shower yet, so it's fine. Okay. Well, I'm gonna use it now, so can you leave? Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. She ends up leaving the bathroom, and I actually start taking off my clothes, and I end up hopping inside the shower. When I got inside, I remember I ended up seeing like their like faucet and everything, and I started trying to figure out how do I turn on this bathroom shower, because honestly, it was so complicated, and the more I looked into it, I didn't understand how to turn on the water. There were jets coming from like every side of like the shower, and I was so confused on like which one I'm supposed to turn on, or like which angle is it. Like, I don't know. It was definitely a bathroom that I did not recognize. But then as I'm trying to figure it out, I ended up looking right beside me, and right beside me was literally his sister on the toilet saying, oh, are you having like some trouble? Yo, wait, what? Bro, what are you doing here? I'm literally not wearing anything. Oh, well, like, I saw you were having trouble and I didn't hear the shower on, so I was just curious what you were doing. You couldn't knock? Well, it's kind of my bathroom. Okay, well, I don't know how to turn on the water, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. As I'm like holding myself, trying to cover myself up, she ends up basically saying afterwards, which honestly blew my mind, oh, like, do you want me to just join you? At that moment, honestly, I didn't know what to say. She already saw basically everything on me, and I'm gonna be honest, she was already in the middle of taking off everything. So she ends up joining me in the shower, and well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And I know I broke the bro code, okay? You guys don't have to tell me once or twice. I understand it, but I'm gonna be for real with you. It was in the heat of the moment, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. I remember after we did the Devil's Tango, I ended up going basically straight out of the shower, and I ended up basically getting ready and putting on my clothes, and my hair was still wet, but I dried myself off as fast as I could, and honestly, I go out to my friend's bedroom again, trying to pretend like nothing ever happened. Obviously, he ends up looking at me saying, yo, bro, you took a pretty long shower, man. That was like an hour. Like, you good? Yeah, no, it's just, I gotta wash myself properly. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, finally, I can go use the bathroom now, I guess. And at that moment, he ends up going into the hallway, and he ends up seeing his sister come out of the bathroom with just a towel, and he realizes her hair is wet, and my hair was still wet, and he says to me, yo, wait, what? What the Did you just take a shower with my sister, bro? I remember like me and him, we ended up staring at each other, and his sister just interrupts us saying, oh, it's okay. Like, he didn't know how to use the shower, so I just taught him. Like, she's just trying to play it off as if she was doing like a friendly act. But I'm gonna be honest with you, my friend definitely knew what happened, and we kind of lost our friendship afterwards. And no, I did not join him for dinner because, well, yeah, I think it kind of makes sense of why I didn't. But honestly, comment down below if you guys would ever do your friend's sister, especially if your friend has a hot sister. But other than that, fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys. I remember she looked at me and said, Bubba, are you not gonna join me in the shower? And that's when I ended up taking off my clothes, and I went in there with his mom. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing story. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear the whole thing. I remember this story all takes place back when I was in grade 6. So I was just entering middle school at this time, and I'm not gonna lie to you, one of the things I lacked a lot in middle school was me having the best hygiene. Because back when I was in middle school, the only things I cared about was video games, Pokemon cards, and basically anything other than my self-care, I guess. Like, I know nowadays we have a lot of like teenagers and guys out there, especially in middle school or high school, that care a lot about their looks to the point where they make themselves end up looking like a K-pop star or like, you know, any sort of major celebrity. But for me, back when I was really young, honestly, the only thing I cared about was sitting down playing video games in my room for like 12 hours a day and not coming out to even take a shower. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I would only shower like 2 times a week back when I was in grade 6. So it would make sense why most girls did not like me back when I was in middle school. But at the same time, like I said, I was in grade 6. I didn't care. But I remember one time I ended up coming home from school one day, and I basically ended up walking up to my parents, and my parents ended up telling me, Bubba, we're leaving for a little vacation. We're gonna be gone for a week. So we want to know, do you want to stay at your friend's place, or do you want to, you know, have a babysitter? Now, me back when I was younger, I did not like babysitters whatsoever. Like, I really did not want to have a babysitter because obviously, if you guys don't know and you guys aren't fans of the channel, I basically did not have the best experiences with babysitters. So what I ended ended up telling them was, oh, I have a friend I can stay with if that's cool. He has video games and everything. Like, I could just hang out with him. Okay, well, we'll give his mom a phone call and we'll see if she lets you come over. I remember like 2 hours went by and one thing led to another. I was actually allowed to go over there for the week and I was super excited. The reason I was excited was because my friend at the time, back when I was in grade 6, was a really hardcore gamer and also really rich. So knowing this, obviously he would have all the latest video games and basically have the newest consoles and everything that I basically did not have back when I was younger. So I remember on Sunday, my parents ended up packing up the car and one thing led to another. They dropped me off at my friend's place to stay with him for the week. Obviously my friend was super excited about this and me and my friend would always end up staying in his room just playing video games the entire time. I am not joking. There wasn't a time where we didn't come out of his room and, well, did something else or even play outside. I guess you could say I grew up in the generation of video games. But I remember one thing was for sure, his mom that was technically taking care of me and my friend at the time would always come into the room saying, hey, Bubba, I got you some food. Are you hungry right now? No, I'm good, thanks. Bubba, I was just wondering, do you want your toothbrush on the left counter or on the right of the sink? Any's fine. I don't really care. I barely brush my teeth, which is honestly kind of true because nowadays I brush twice a day like the average human should be doing. But back then when I was in like middle school, I would only brush my teeth maybe like once a day and that was in the morning. But going on with the story, I remember this mom of his would always basically be in my hair until I remember one specific day, because I remember this was a Tuesday and basically I was supposed to go to school that day, but I wasn't really feeling up to it. So I ended up skipping school and I remember my friend ended up going to school. And basically one thing I would say is that my friend, he would take showers every single day. Like his parents, I guess, kind of grew him up in the way where hygiene was super important, which I wish my parents did with me. But to be honest, they would make him shower every day. And me, I really did not care for it. And honestly, at this point, me not showering for 4 days, I guess really made me have a stench in the house where I'm not gonna lie, every time I would smell myself or other people would smell me around that house, they would get kind of disgusted. So I remember when I was laying in my friend's bed and I was just playing on my Nintendo DS, out of nowhere, I ended up seeing his mom come into the room. His mom came into the bedroom saying, hey, Bubba, I made breakfast downstairs, but I really think you should take a shower. So do you think you could maybe go take one real quick for me? No thanks. I don't really feel like it. Bubba, but you should shower. I'm not gonna lie, you're starting to stink. Okay, that's fine. It's just normal human scent, is what I said back when I was younger. And honestly, it sounds stupid, but let's be real here. I just didn't want to take a shower. I remember she ended up getting really annoyed, but since she wasn't my actual mother, I guess she didn't really have the ability to do anything. Well, until she ended up having the ability, because I remember what happens next, honestly, was really, really bizarre. I remember it was around like the afternoon and basically around this time, school was definitely over and I was waiting for my friend to come home. So I remember me being really excited to have my friend come home and play video games with me. I ended up basically going down the stairs and I ended up waiting for him at the front door. But as I was waiting for him, kind of just sitting down on the couch that was near the door, his mom ended up coming into the room and saying, oh, Bubba, you're out of bed. Do you think you could maybe now go and take a shower? No thanks. I don't really want to take one. But Bubba, you're supposed to take a shower. It's good for you. I don't really feel like it. Bubba, it's not about feeling, it's about your own self-hygiene. I remember when she was basically trying to lecture me about taking a shower, I would always just deny it and be in major denial, to the point where I'm not gonna lie to you, she got super annoyed and super upset to the point where she would start yelling at me. Like, I don't know what kind of mother yells at another person's kid, but it is not a thing to do to anyone's child. I'm just gonna say that right now for any parents watching. But obviously I understood where the anger was coming from because I wouldn't take a shower. So me knowing that she got super upset, I remember I ended up running out of there and I ended up running actually to my friend's bedroom and hiding under his bed. I'm not gonna lie, I guess you could say it really scarred me, but obviously I'm not gonna lie to you, the scarring got even worse because what ends up happening next, I gotta say, really traumatized me in a way. Because I remembered back when I was younger, I still had like another 4 days to stay there and I really just did not want to be there anymore. So I remember every time I saw his mom walking around the house, I would always end up hiding in different places. For example, the closet or under the dining room table, to even hiding behind curtains. I would just hide in certain places just so his mom could kind of just lay off and stop telling me to take a shower. But then I remember one time I was hiding behind my friend's bed, just sitting down on my Nintendo 3DS, and out of nowhere, and I'm not joking when I say this, I end up seeing his mom holding a towel and she looks at me saying, Bubba, I could smell you from downstairs. You need to come with me right now. She ends up grabbing my wrist and actually dragging me to the bathroom, and she ended up throwing me in there and closing the door behind me. And me, like I said earlier, I was really determined not to take a shower because I did not want to shower at their place at all. So I remember what I ended up doing was just sitting on the toilet for like 2 hours in their bathroom. Honestly, it wouldn't be the first time I was trapped in a bathroom, but I will say this, I did not want to be be in there. So I would just sit there and just not do anything. I guess you could say I was being really over dramatic, but what ends up happening next was honestly insane. Because I remember it ended up becoming like, I want to say 6:30, and I really was questioning where in the world my friend was and why wasn't he home yet, because I didn't want to be home alone with his mother anymore. So I remember I ended up walking up to his mom and I said, hey, I'm just wondering, when is my friend coming back? Oh, honey, he's coming back way later because he has hockey practice, so you're gonna be alone at home with me. Okay, well, I don't know what to do while waiting. Well, maybe you should try taking a shower because you really need one, because you're really stinking up the place. I remember I looked at her and I just kind of looked down because I didn't want to reply to what she was saying. And I guess at that moment, that's when her eyes opened wide and she had a different idea of why I didn't want to take a shower. I remember she walks up to me and says, Bubba, I can teach you how to shower if you want. Wait, what? I know how to shower? Well, let's just see if that's true then. And I remember she ended up grabbing my hand once again and walking me to the shower. And one thing led to another. I remember she ended up turning on the water and she took off everything. She took off everything. She ended up hopping into the shower and she started basically washing herself. And one thing led to another. I remember she looked at me and said, Bubba, are you not going to join me? And at that moment, I didn't really know what to do. I felt really peer pressured, but at the same time, me being in grade 6, I wasn't the smartest either. And I guess my hormones started to kick in. And well, one thing led to another. I'm not going to lie to you. I ended up taking a shower with his mom. Honestly, I will say this was one of my least proud moments of my life and honestly super embarrassing. And the fact that I'm telling this to you guys right now, please press that like button because it's super embarrassing. But yeah, I basically ended up taking a shower with his mom and his mom ended up teaching me how to shower. And holy cow, can I just say the amount of products that girls use in the shower is honestly bizarre and mind-blowing. But I remember me and her, we ended up taking a shower and she basically showered me. I showered with her. And yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was really awkward seeing my friend's mom's cherries, but at the same time, I wasn't really complaining. And for all of you guys wondering, no, I did not do the devil's tango with my friend's mom because that would be severely illegal. And honestly, that is just purely disgusting. I will say after the shower though, I ended up smelling super clean and my friend ended up coming home. And honestly, from the moment he got home, I guess his mom started to pretend that nothing happened. And me, I decided to stay quiet about it because obviously it was super embarrassing. Like, how am I going to tell my own friend that I showered with his mother? No idea, but all I'm going to say is that if you guys would shower with your friend's mom, then just follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.